Hey everyone, in this tutorial I will show you how to model this building, which is Tbilisi Public Service Hall by Studio Fuksas. So the trick in this building is actually all about the roof. The remaining of the building is just some rectangles and normal extrude. So anyway, let's start. So I already modeled these rectangles before recording to save some time, but I will show you how I did anyway. So you can double click to minimize the perspective and double click to maximize the top view. You can drag and drop the floor plans and choose picture and scale it. You will find a scale bar here. So you choose scale 2D or 3D. I choose 3D. And this distance is 10 meters, so type 10. And then start drawing the rectangles and then extruding. Anyway, I did all of this before recording to save some time, because all the trick is about this roof. For the roof I also imported this image and scale it, but I realized that this scale bar wasn't actually right, so I scale it using this image as a reference. As you can see here, we have this exterior lines of the roof, so I use it as a reference to scale the layout. Anyway, after importing the image as a reference, for now I will select all these rectangles and hide them. So press Ctrl H and select the image and type lock, or you can lock it from here so we don't move it by mistake. And we'll start drawing curves by following, press F8 to close the ortho, by following these shapes, and start adjusting the control point using the gimbal to match the reference. I can copy this, select it and hold Alt and move it using the gimbal. Then start adjusting the control points again. Let's stop record history. Let's disable the always record history for now. So right click here and uncheck always record history. We can choose this curve better. We can choose interpolate points curve so that the points will be on the shape, and then start adjusting it again. Right click to bring the command again and draw the remaining curves, and so on. So I will speed this part a little bit to save some time. Okay, now after drawing all the curves, I want to show you what we are going to do to create the surface. So double click to minimize the top view and double click to go to the perspective. So what we are going to do now, what we want to do is to create a surface. So we can go here and create planar surface, and then we can rebuild this surface. Then we can rebuild the surface and then move it up. Then press F10 and start moving the control points. For this shape, we didn't face a big problem, but for others, so I will do this for now. For something like this, if I created a surface from planar surface and press F10, as you can see, the control points are following the following the XY plane, not the shape itself. For example, for something like this, I created a surface from planar curves. As you can see, the points are not aligned with the shape. I want to create so what I want to do is to rebuild this surface or create another surface in which the UV directions are aligned with the shape, something like this, following this line, and something perpendicular on it like this. So to do so, I will do this for now. So the point is, don't use surface from planar curves. What we are going to do is to create a 3-point surface, and we are going to draw the surface manually, trying to create a surface that's a bounding, smallest bounding box for the shape. Maybe start and choose the gumball, make it align to object, and start maybe scaling it a little bit, moving it like this. So, and then trim it. Use trim so that we have okay. So, and I had to maybe move it a little bit like this, and then trim the surface. This will give us a surface aligned in a better direction to be able to work with. So after we rebuilt it, we will be able to edit it easier. As you can see, the exterior control points are closer to the curve. So I will keep creating the surface for the remaining objects. So choose 3-point surface. Draw someone here. Start aligning it. Double click, move this handle. Start scaling a little bit. Scale it from here too. Then hold Alt and copy it and rotate. So we'll keep creating the remaining rectangles for all the remaining shapes. Alt and make sure that the gumball is aligned to set to align to object, to be always aligned with the rectangle. Double click and go to view, and let's align this one. So I will speed this part up a little bit to save some time. Okay, after drawing all the surface, we are going now to trim them. So type trim, select the curve, right click, and select the object to cut. So right click to bring the command again, select the cutting object, right click, select the object to cut, and so on. Select the curve, right click, select the object to cut, right click to bring the command again, select the cutting object, and so on. So now we trimmed all of them, so double click to minimize the top view, double click to maximize the perspective, and select all of them. Move all of them maybe 50 meters. I will hide these curves for now, so select all of them and press Ctrl H. So I will use this as a reference to move object in their right order. As for example, this is in the top, then this under it, and this and so on. So this need to go up, and then this one need to go up a little bit. Then this one, then this, and this one need to move up, and this up also. This. Move up also. And I select all of them and rebuild all of them. Let's set the U division to 4 and the V to 4 and the degree to 3 in both directions. Press OK. Let's open the visibility to show these floors and select all of them, and let's lock them for now. Now we'll start using this image as a reference, start adjusting the design. Let's select all of this and move it down a little bit, maybe something like this. Okay, select the surface, press F10 and start moving the control points. So select all these control points, move them up a little bit, and then select this one and hold shift, select this parts too and move them down a little bit, maybe something like this, down more, and press escape and then move the whole surface down a little bit, maybe something like this. And then for this one, same thing, come here, select all this surface, move them up, let's select all these curves, move them up a little bit, then select this points, and then move them down. And this one, I think, let's align, let's click on the circle and align the gimbal to the C plan. I think this needs to go down a little bit, maybe this part too. Press escape, select this one, press F10, select these two rows of points, move them up. So let's go here, select this down a little bit, select this down also, maybe move it up a little bit. This one need to go down, and so on. So we'll keep adjusting the control points until it matches the requirements. So I will speed this part a little bit. Okay, now after adjusting all the control points for all the roofs, we want to add thickness to these surfaces. But first we need to understand how it's going to look. So for example here, if we look to the section, the thickness is not uniform, so we can just use offset surface. So we will need to use offset surface. Then we are going to adjust the control points of the surface underneath. Then we are going to use blend surface to create this soft connection. So let's start. So let's start with something like this. Let's type offset surface. Let's set the value to 1, for example, and press F10. Okay, Control Z. So I want to show you something. When for this one, if I pressed F10, as you can see, the control points here is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here for this one, after creating the offset, the control points are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The control points increased. If you want to create an offset and with the same number of control points, I will delete this for now, we can use offset surface, but for the in the settings, set it loose, set it to yes. This will make that the offset distance may not be 100% accurate, but it will give us a surface with the same amount of control points like the original one. And by the end of the day, we are going to readjust the control point, so it's fine if the distance is not 100% accurate. So set loose to yes and create an offset. Control Z. Okay, I will set the offset distance to 0.8 maybe. Press F10 to open the control points. Now, as you can see, we have the same control points. I'm going to set all of the code history to yes and type blend surface. So create a blend between this edge and this edge. And now if I came here and I will select only these 4 points and move them down a little bit, maybe something like this, to have more thickness here. So if I switch it to the ghost mode, maybe select this one and this one, as you can see, the distance between these curves increased, and this one, and this is something similar to this section. So I'm going to repeat this process for all the remaining surface. So I'm going to select all the surface at once, hold shift to select multi object at the same time, type offset surface and set loose to yes and the distance 0.8, and make sure all of them are in the same direction. So press right click. So now let's blend surface, select this edge, and then right click, this edge, right click, and just set it to curvature or maybe tangency. Okay, no, set it to curvature. Curvature is fine. Right click, and again right click here. I am using the right mouse button to bring the command again, and instead of enter to finish the command. This is for a faster workflow. Maybe this one need to go up a little bit, so I'm going to move only this one. Since we were recording history, when I move this up, all the other elements also moved up. This one need to go up a little bit too. Okay, now let's start adjusting the control points. So I'm going to select this one, press F10. Let's move these points down a little bit. Break the disturbance. Okay, let's switch to the ghost mode. Select this one, press F10. Okay, Control Z. Select the one in, make sure to select the one in the base. Then Okay, that's it. We are almost done. Only remains creating the columns. So let's go to the... Okay, for the columns, I will need to... Let's unlock this for now. Let's select this image and press Ctrl H to hide it. I will need to use one of the floor plans to create the column. So I am going to import this one, picture, scale it. Let's use this scale part to scale it. Choose scale 3D, select this point, press F8 opens also second point and type 10 meter. Let's place it in position and let's lock it. So as you can see, these 3 points are for these 3 circles are for columns. So I'm type point and press a point here, right click to bring the command again, press a point here and right click to bring the command again and press a point here. So now to create a curve from a point, we can extrude it. So I'm going to use a gumball and extrude it like this. So we have these 3 curves. And as you can see, the columns are not completely straight, they are inclined a little bit here. So I will add a control point here and another control point here and move it. So let's go to the curve and here choose add, insert control point, select the curve, right click, and let's insert a control point here, right click, create block disturbance define, and same thing here, add control point, right here, right click. So select all these curves and let's isolate it. Select it, press F10. So this one need to go maybe something like this, and this one too need to go something like this, and move everything up until it intersects the surface. And by the end of the day, we are going to use pipe. I just need to see this. The radius is about 0.25, so select these curves and type pipe, radius 0.3, press enter. Okay, now radius 0.25. And I will use the same process to create the remaining columns. Okay, let's go to the top views. We double click to minimize the view and double click to maximize the top view. Type points instead of point to be able to create more than 1 point using the same command. So press point here. Let's close the ortho. One here, and here, here. Okay, after finishing placing all the points, press right click, double click to minimize the view, double click to maximize, type SEL curve, or you can use it from here. Select SEL points, select point, or you can use it from here. And now let's extrude all these points, and let's start adjusting them and adding, for example, this point. Select this, press F10, and maybe I can select all of them and type pipe. We are already recording history, so after creating the pipes, if we did any adjustment to the curves, it's going to be reflected in the pipe. So and set the radius 0.25, right click, okay. So now type SEL curve, select the curves only, and go to the visibility and isolate. So now all we can select is a curve. Select this, for example, and press F10. We can move it as we want, and as you can see, the curves are updated. I can came here and start adding control points, maybe one control point here, right click, select this curve, select this point, move it like this maybe. Same thing for this one. Add the control points here. Select this point, move it like this. I might speed this part up because it is just the same processes for all the remaining objects. By the way, we can select all of them and rebuild, but maybe keeping this as they are, select this one. And let's rebuild them. Set the degree to 1 and the control point to 3 to add another point in the middle. Okay, so now if I select this, for example, and press F10, we already have, let's go to the wireframe, we already have a point here. So I can go a little bit with this down, then select this point, move this here, move this here, moving this up, and so on. Make sure that this point intersects with the roof. Let's switch to the ghost mode better. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you later.